We are now just under 5 months away from the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is going to answer a lot of the burning questions from The Force Awakens, while at the same exact time it will provide a lot of connections to the prequels, the originals, and even Star Wars Rebels, while also borrowing a lot of elements from, of course, Star Wars Legends, also known as the Expanded Universe, which is really great because this film really is going to deliver to the hardcore fans of the 1990s and the early 2000s of the EU. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that a description of Rey traveling to a place called the Lost City, which contains many Jedi relics and ruins, as well as other secrets of the Force that lie within. It's said that Rey enters the Land of Warriors, which is the location of these Jedi ruins, where she comes across the tall statue of Ezra Bridger, who is also dubbed as the Savior of the Unknown. It's described that Rey eventually opens a segment of the statue that contains many of Ezra's belongings and personal items that he left behind many years ago, one of which is said to be his journal that he wrote in during his time in the Unknown Regions. One of the segments in the book explains how Ezra once connected with a dark and sinister presence that actually tried to seduce him to the dark side of the Force, and that this presence was Supreme Leader Snoke himself, without Ezra Bridger even knowing who he was at the time. Now, it's described that Ezra explains in the journal that he had mentally connected with this sinister presence multiple times during his path to escape in the Unknown Regions. It's said that Ezra explains that the dark energy, which was Snoke, was on the search for the Beyond, and that Snoke was born from the Beyond itself many years ago. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to set up a lot of questions that will go unanswered, at least for the first act of this movie, that will ultimately be answered at the very end of Episode 9. So in this particular scenario, we have Rey traveling to the Lost City. We've been talking about this location for a very long time now. It's a location that consists of both Jedi and Sith ruins, as well as secrets of the Force. And in this particular moment, we have a moment in which Rey travels to the statue of Ezra Bridger, which is also known as the Savior of the Unknown. And within this statue, the Journal of Ezra explains that he had once mentally connected with Snoke himself. However, Ezra Bridger did not know exactly who Snoke was at the time. So you can really see how they're trying to really make a lot of these characters from Star Wars Rebels, the originals, the prequels, and the sequels, all crossing paths at one point in time in their lives, in order to really interconnect the Skywalker saga fully. So, in this particular moment, what's really exciting about this is that this also provides a little bit more backstory on the character of Ezra Bridger during his time over in the Unknown Regions, where this is the moment in which it's unveiled that Snoke was the one born from the Beyond itself. So that could very well explain as to why Snoke is so powerful through the ways of the dark side, and why Palpatine had such a great interest in his power well before the events of his death. We do know that Palpatine felt his presence all the way from the Unknown Regions, if you guys have read some of the books out there, like Aftermath and Empire's End. So, with that being said, that's once again a prime example of connecting two big characters such as Palpatine and Snoke. So in this scenario, we have Ezra Bridger actually mentally connecting with Snoke while he was hiding over in the Unknown Regions. Snoke was hiding over there to build up the First Order. And when Ezra was actually trapped over in the Unknown Regions, that's when they eventually mentally connected. So you can really see how everything starts to make sense now, and how all the dots are starting to connect with each other, and exactly why J.J. Abrams now talked with a lot of, members of Star Wars Rebels, such as Dave Filoni, the showrunner of the TV show, especially for Season 4, which was a big hit because it provided a lot of answers to the Star Wars franchise. So, what's really exciting about this is that we're learning more about Snoke's backstory. We're also learning a little bit more about Ezra, because we got no closure at the very end of Rebels Season 4 as to what happened to Ezra Bridger. A lot of people are always wondering what happened to Ezra Bridger at the very end of Season 4. Did he live? Did he die? Where is he? it's widely assumed that he is actually over in the unknown regions, and now the Rise of Skywalker is really going to shed light on that answer, and that is, of course, yes, that he was over in the unknown regions, trapped there, trying to find a way out, since it's so dangerous to get in and out of the unknown regions because of black holes and different creatures and different elements associated with space and time. I mean, it's a very complex region of the galaxy that is eventually going to be explored in Episode 9, and quite possibly even the new Star Wars trilogy and beyond. So, I cannot wait to see exactly how this is all going to be utilized on the big screen, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.